So this is session 2 of 2 of Crossroads Carnival, which is a PbtA forthcoming game from Magpie. It is in an Ashcan shortened version available now. You can get the physical copy from Magpie, and you can also get the PDF from Drive-Thru-RPG right now if you're interested in that. This is a game that very much takes the spirit of Carnival. It is a story of a group of carnival performers in Dustbowl-era America, but they are all mysterious and strange. They're all mythical and supernatural, fighting against their own darkness, even as they travel the land, trying to battle against the darkness that appears in different places. And they know that there is a war going on, and they can recognize when there are dark things occurring in this world. And so we have our mermaid, our geek, and our strongman on the table tonight. And I'm actually going to have them give me their 30-second pitch on their character here, just so we can reframe where we are. And then I'll talk about where we are in terms of the story here. So Jesse, please give us a 30-second pitch as you envision it for Myrtle.
Sure. Myrtle is a forgotten goddess who craves worship, and she's found her way to the carnival as sort of a way to regain some of that through the attention of punters. And her act is beheading living creatures, and I think the reason, and eating them in front of somebody, and I think the feeling of that, while sort of experiencing the wonder and disgust of the audience, may remind her a little bit of the sacrifice she experienced, however many hundreds or thousands of years earlier. She doesn't remember.
So what do you imagine are the trappings of your act? Like when the barker is out on the main way, calling in to say, come and see this. What is it that they are saying? What is the aesthetic? What is the look?
So I think the space is dark and cramped. Right, Myrtle, it doesn't fit a lot of people at once. You have to sort of she does this a lot of times a night, as people sort of move through the space. And I think that there's maybe a single spotlight in a dark room. She wears what is kind of like a white robe. And as I mentioned, she's sort of a tall and kind of bony creature. Mm-hmm. Kind of gaunt with dark skin, racially ambiguous, and I think there's there's very little. The opposite. There's a lot of ceremony and sort of fanfare, right? Someone, right? Maybe the barker, maybe someone else will deliver the creature to her, right? In a small cage, and she'll take it, and there'll be sort of it will be raised and lowered, and then without much, in a lot of silence, she'll just devour it.
Do you think that people come away scared or freaked out or weirded out or reverent? What's the emotion you think you convey in that?
So I think there's this mix of sort of disgust and wonder, right? It's this people see this performance, and on the one hand, they're disgusted with what they just saw, and so by the end, she doesn't change between performances. So by the end of the night, that white robe is covered in blood, and I think there's just a sense of what did I just see, but also a kind of magnetic fascination, and a little bit of who is this creature that can do such a thing and that can make me feel this way,
okay.
And also maybe a little bit of disgust with themselves for their fascination. So it's wonder and disgust combined.
Excellent. Marissa, can you give us the 30-second pitch on Pearl, our mermaid?
Sure, and I apologize if my voice sounds a little weird. I have a cold, so I'm just working through it. So yes, so Pearl is a mermaid. She was not a special or particularly important mermaid when she was under the water in the sea. She was captured by fishermen and kind of convinced that she would become this very important, very special thing to humans. She'd be magical, and people would love her and think she was great. But basically, she lives in the desert in a tank of dirty water with seaweed in her hair and a tail that's kind of dry and flaking off. And she is not at all well, she has a grace about her, but she is definitely like falling apart kind of physically and kind of doesn't realize it. It's still in kind of this illusion that she's doing something really great and really very important to society, because she's so naive and so unable to understand humanity still at this point.
And what is Pearl's act? Is it just to come in and see, or is there something more to it?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about that. It could either be, and I mean, part of me was thinking it would just kind of be like you pay $1 and you go like look at the world's largest pig or the world's smallest horse or whatever. Come look at the mermaid, and she's like in a separate room, and people come in one at a time or whatever and look at her and are kind of like amazed, and she's very friendly and very like understands that or thinks that people are there to kind of because they are intrigued, and she's very special and important. She doesn't really, I don't think, get the whole idea of her being a freak.
And how much do you use your voice in that?
So I would think that she would sing or offer to sing if she were asked or probed, or if people heckled her or something. I think she would sing for them and probably become scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because her voice is very powerful and very it can create a lot of I guess upset. So I don't know, but I don't think she would necessarily she may just do it for fun, or she may do it when kind of like asked or kind of probed to. But she does notice, or probably has noticed recently, that she's getting weird responses from people when she sings. So
nice. I like that. And finally, Bethany, tell us about Sandor, our strongman.
Yeah, Sandor is he's human. He's a kind of stereotypical big, brawny Midwestern farm boy, but he's smarter than he looks. His strength doesn't just come from being big. He made a deal with a goddess of vengeance, who gave him this great strength in return for enacting whatever she decides, is justice. Being, a goddess, it's fairly arbitrary and usually not gentle.
And certainly she is kind of pursuing you. You still have a nervousness about what it is she wants you to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this didn't happen long ago.
Yeah. So I know we talked about the work that you do around in the show, carrying a pearl and lifting things, moving things around. What does your act actually consist of?
I think that I am there to like members of the audience to like pit their strength against mine, not in a fight, but just like, can you lift this? I can lift this. But because my strength is so supernaturally greater than like, than would be natural, I always win, even like when these, really very strong people show up and are just sure that they're going to win. So my contribution is like winning bets.
Lifting people up, raising things up, tug of war, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just pull this tractor by hand. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So our carnival arrived last week. You made your way over the Arizona-California border, where you saw essentially evidence of the pushback on Okies and people fleeing from the Dust Bowl here into California. But you made it through, and you headed to a town you hadn't been to for a couple of years, named Hazleton. And you arrived, set things up, and after a bit, one of the circus members, your animal tamer, headed off into the night, and Myrtle followed him to find that, in fact, he was clearly set on kidnapping some kind of animal from a local farmhouse. And at that point, Myrtle returned, wanting to get assistance. In the meantime, a couple of migrants had fled through the nearby rye field and into your encampment, and were terrified. And Sandor took care of them and hid them away. Shortly after, the local sheriff drove over and questioned the carnival, asking, if they had seen anybody, these dangerous escapees who were criminals. And it was at that point that your seer was able to tell that the sheriff was nervous about you all finding out what they've been doing with these migrants, and had a certain terror of that. But the sheriff took off. You spoke with this couple, talked with them for a short bit. It's at that point that Myrtle kind of interjected and mentioned about the animal tamer. And where we left off last time was the sound of gunfire off in the distance, as we left off. So did I miss any important details? Okay. So let's take up with that. Sandor, certainly when you hear that gunfire, you'll feel that push at the back of your mind. The spirit kind of, the goddess kind of trying to push you forward. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. Taking off, running?
I'm gonna hesitate and see if anyone else wants to go with me, and if whether they do or not, I'm still gonna go. But
okay. Pearl?
Yes.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if I need to go, unless it's helpful. But I was also, I think last time I was beginning to chat with the migrants, so I may want to stay back and kind of see what their deal is.
Okay, yeah. So we'll frame you having a conversation with them. What about you, Myrtle? Stay or follow along with Sandor?
So I'm assuming this is the trouble that the lion tamer got himself into, and I'm going to take off with Sandor.
Okay. So let's do the two of you. Let's set up that scene. Do that, and then we'll come back to Pearl, and we'll kind of move back and forth on that. The two of you will run. It's dark out. There's a little bit of moonlight, but not full, and you will make your way over, rushing through, and you will see a farmhouse in the distance, and there are some lights on, and it actually looks like there are two people struggling over a shotgun in that backyard. Like they are wrestling for that gun. Though it's hard to make out who is who. Sandor, how do you want to do this? Do you want to say something? Do you want to rush in? What do you want to do?
So which way is the gun pointed?
Right now they're kind of wrestling, they've got it between them, movie style, where they're both hands on it.
Well, I don't really want it pointed at me, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, fair enough.
So coming in at an angle where the gun is not pointed at me, I think I'm just gonna like grab each of them and pull them away from each other, just physically like separate them.
Okay. So let's see here how we want to do this. You're certainly not doing violence, but you do have. Do you think we're using that strength of 10 men move? Is that what's happening here? Is you're kind of pulling apart and threatening? Or are you just trying to get?
I apart? I could yell at them while I do it.
Okay.
What the hell you think you're doing? And I assume one of them is the lion tamer guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And the other one is this aged farmer. So you grab and kind of shout at them. Let's have you roll bones.
Sure. Where's the link to the?
It's on the basics move page.
Oh, okay.
Copy.
I see.
It's the Daring Koala one.
Okay. Oh, let's see. I rolled a 6. Let me. I think
and you've
I'm
got
still
bone.
Good.
Okay, so it's a 7. So on a hit, they can choose to stand up to you but take harm, or give in and do what you want. On a 7 to 9, they can also choose. Let's see here. So I think you will grab them and pull them apart. And that does startle both of them, right? And they, let's say the gun falls to the ground. Neither of them have a hold of it, and he will yank them apart. And you've got them, and they're both startled, but you will see that the animal tamer's eyes have gone kind of like a shark black.
Okay.
And you can see there are animals around here. Like, there's some like a cat, there are a couple of dogs, there are some chickens, maybe there's a mule, and you will see all those animals all kind of stop whatever they're, squawking, whatever they were doing. They all kind of stop, and they all very slowly turn around and look this way. What are you doing, Myrtle? You're muted. You're muted, Jesse.
Yeah. Sorry,
okay.
I was trying to click on it. And
That's okay.
But so I think I sort of I watched this happen as like Sander darts in to pull them apart, and I think like as Samson, right? That's his name. Turns. Is that the lion tamer's name?
I think so.
Yeah. If not, it can be now.
Yes.
Yeah. The Samson sort of turns, and like I think there's like a like a point of view shot, maybe from my perspective, as like those black eyes look right at the camera, right, those dark eyes, and like the sound, right, the sound of the animals is like being turned up, and I shout. I think I say, Samson, calm down. This is helping nobody. If you come back with us, I will make sure that I will make sure that you have a fine, healthy animal companion. I'll have Pearl sing one over to you that you can. You don't need to do this. Come with me. I can help you.
So do you think this is you trying to strike a deal with him? Does that sound, we've got a couple moves I could see it being read as. One is strike a deal, or the other is kind of offering comfort.
So I think in my head it was strike a deal, but I don't think I'm offering anything of value to me, really, right? There's no cost there, so offer comfort might be better. I think offer comfort is probably the better choice there.
Yeah, let's get those answers on the table.
Right, but I mean, is that because it says there the move says their player? Is it intended to be directed at an NPC also?
Oh, it can be used for an NPC as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's roll. And my grace is terrible. One of the reasons I wanted to roll that. Unfortunately, it turned out well. No, that's a lie. It's a 6.
That is a 6. So, as Rich Rogers would say, the good news is you get to mark experience.
Excellent. That's what I'm in this game for, progression.
The bad news is, as you are talking to him, that back door of the farmhouse comes open.
Just a quick thing. Sorry. All right, finish what you're doing.
No, go.
I only have viewing permissions on the character. But it's.
Oh, I did is I put the link in wrong a little bit. Here, let me drop it on.
I'm sorry, I interrupted the flow there.
Absolutely okay, because that's kind of important detail. So that should allow you editing privileges there.
Great. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
So the back door comes open, and you see what looks like maybe this farmer's son, like a teenager, come out, and he actually has a rifle, like a little 22 hunting rifle, and it looks like he's cocking that, and he is going to shoot someone. And that kind of breaks your concentration there. Let's do one more round of moves, and then I want to come back to Pearl. Sandor, the situation is you've got them apart. The one gun is on the ground, but now the situation has gotten much more hectic. The livestock and the animals aren't making any noise right now.
Yeah. So I turned so that the older guy is like between me and the kid with the gun.
Okay.
And what do I do? Well, Myrtle's trying to talk to like our guy, but I think I started to try to calm this guy down. They're like, okay, look, this is Samson. He's not quite right in the head. I'm sorry, he got away from us. We're gonna take him back. It's all fine. We're not gonna let him, steal any of your animals.
That seems fair. I think we are going to the offer comfort move. I think that's the one that allows us to kind of get that interaction.
Okay.
To figure out, how to get them to do that. So let's have you roll with grace.
What's my grace? 0. 8.
An 8. So you get to ask 2 questions off that offer comfort list there to kind of help you frame what you want to say or do with them.
Okay. What disgusts you about yourself and or this place?
Oh, that's interesting. Who do you want? Who do you think this is for the young man? You want to get this from him?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he feels trapped here. I think he's been on this farm. I think that he knows that this farm is his life. His mom, died. He's alone here helping his father, and this is the worst possible life he could have, he thinks.
Okay. Okay.
And
cool.
What's your second question?
How could I get you to put the gun down and just let us walk away? And I think I have an idea there, but
well, you've done part of it, which is getting the father in the way. But you think he's also spooked by the whole thing with the animals, which feels super unnatural. Like he can feel the shadow, like you do, the darkness around here, and that's probably what has absolutely got him most on edge. Is that weirdness that is here. So if you can do that, but right now he's not going to shoot because you put his father in the way. So he's kind of gripping that and trying to figure out what to do. And he's like, y'all need to get off my land right now. Okay. Let me ask then, Myrtle, what do you want to do? Looks like Sandor's kind of addressing them, kind of got their attention.
So I think that I'm still making eye contact with Samson, and as I hear these interactions out of the corner of my eye and my ear, and I'm actually terrified, right? This to me, I'm thinking about what it means for the carnival that we and Samson have been caught here. I'm thinking about the time I spent alone. I'm thinking about the time, the way I was treated by other people, during that time period, the disgust, the hatred, the fear. And I think I feel that darkness surrounding me that Samson is bringing in, and I'm I almost, my empty eyes reach out to his full dark eyes to pull that in towards me, and I'm embracing the darkness.
Okay. Let's have you roll breath. What's obviously on the table is a miss is just going to create more darkness and weirdness around here.
And on a hit, I get to do a cool thing, and also mark darkness. And my breath is 2. That is a 10. That is an 11.
Look at you! You get 2 from this list.
And excellent. So I actually get an additional option because I took the Hidden in the Hills move, so I can escape to safety. And I am going to do that. I know of somewhere safe, but let me take a look at what my other choices are. Also, do I want to do something?
Well, you certainly got a couple of ways to break Samson's hold here.
Right. Yeah. I want to take something valuable from Samson.
Okay. So like his ability, his concentration right now?
I mean, so here's my idea. Tell me if it's too big an ask. I think the shot here is one of it's a going very cinematic today for some reason, but like is a shot of the two of us in profile. This is maybe more like an animated thing.
Okay.
And like as I'm pulling in, like as I'm embracing the darkness, like his eyes empty and my eyes fill, and I think he can't. Right, he's lost his connection with those animals.
Yeah, and I think before you jet out into the night, those animals will start hearing the chickens and the dogs and all of that start up again here, and you kind of break that hold of that shadow there. Even as you, Sandor, you've probably been around Myrtle when she's done this before, but there is that whiff, and then she's gone. Mm-hmm. We'll come back to you in just a second. So Pearl. We've got you set up there. Meanwhile, the camp they're getting things put away and just sat, moving things into place. And this couple are kind of there. Clearly, the woman is maybe a little more, fascinated by you. The guy looks like he's just still scared. Mm-hmm. But do you think you speak Spanish? I mean, you're a mermaid, so you can do whatever you want.
That's a really good question. I don't know if I would speak Spanish, but I would probably try to communicate with them in a way that I know. So does he speak English, the man, or do either of them speak English?
It's very broken. But I think that, you're a magical creature. I bet that, and you have that voice, that amazing voice. I bet you can communicate what you want.
Right. So, essentially, I figure, they've had a hard night, and right now, since Sandor isn't here to carry me around, I probably have some kind of like system I can use to like get out of my tank and like kind of like hoist myself onto like some kind of like like a weird system. I probably have like some kind of like roller thing. I'm like picturing like a kind of like a wheelchair, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess
wheelchair's perfect.
Yeah. So I kind of would like notice that they're really upset and understand enough. I would probably want to offer them comfort.
Okay.
But I don't know if that, just to kind of like see if I can get more information, but also welcome them a little bit more.
Sure. That seems perfect. Let's have you roll with grace.
Okay.
And then, I'll have you ask your questions and I'll give you some information framing around that.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see. Oh, good. I got a 10.
Look at you. So you get 2 questions from there.
Excellent. Okay. So, I would like to know, I'd like to know who frightens them.
And so they will tell you about how they have been up here for several years and it had been fine. They've been moving around and working, but lately it has been more difficult. In many places, they are kicking the migrants out and replacing them with white people that have come in, and deporting them and sending them back and leaving them to scavenge on the road. But here, they've been here for some time, but things have gotten strange lately, and there have been some things that have bothered them. But when they went to go, they were arrested for vagrancy, and they were hauled before the judge, and they were sentenced to a $10 fine for vagrancy, which is huge. It's a huge amount of money. And to pay off that fine, they were put on this farm with other migrants who were paying off fines and were arrested, and the sheriff watches over things. But some of the migrants that had paid off, that like had earned enough, they vanished from the workhouse in the middle of the night. And they're beginning to think that there's no paying off these debts, that they're doing something else. And that's who they're afraid of right now.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can ask this, but I mean, is it the sheriff that's doing that? Because he was the one that was looking after them, like following after them.
Let's say the sheriff, he is enforcing this, but it is the judge who they brought us before. It is his farm. Judge Lockman, it's his farm that they put us on, and he comes out and looks at us and touches all of us and watches us, and he's the one who put us there in the first place. That there's something wrong with him.
Okay.
What's your second question?
I would say, I just want to know what they desire from us and what we can, I guess, how we can help them.
They would like to be hidden away, and they don't. They have a sense that you're staying, so they know that they can't remain. But any help you could give them to hide or to get away from here would be that's what they would like. But what you've done is more than enough. They understand that, and they understand that you're putting yourselves at risk.
No, I mean, that's fine. Okay, so basically, if they want to hide, I mean, I have this idea that basically there are people in the freak show who aren't actually freaks.
We met one of them last time, yeah.
Yeah, but who aren't even really, like, don't really even have physical abnormalities or anything. They just kind of are people, but they're faking it. Like, so maybe we can make, if they need to hide for any longer, we can give the woman like a beard, like a fake beard or something like that, and and then like give the man like a mask or something, like a dog mask, make him look like he has like a face, so that he can kind of blend in with us a little bit until we figure out a safe way to get them out of here.
Absolutely. You know that in order to have that done, in order to get that across, you are going to have to go and talk to the woman Wilhelmina, who runs the place. She is the one who is going to have to give the okay on that.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Let me cut back to our now just Sandor. And I'd like to hit you with the 7 to 9 question that this young man wants to know. When in this exchange, what does he have the sense that scares you?
That I might hurt either our animal tamer or his dad.
So yeah, he has the sense that you are kind of worried about that. You have his father, and he will say, "Has your friend been drinking?"
Yeah, he gets weird. I'm I'm gonna take him back. Hey, if you wanna come over to the carnival tomorrow, we'll let you in for free. You and your dad.
For freak, sure. The son's like, okay, yeah, Dad, okay, yeah, you just, yeah, you put my dad down, and you get your friend, you walk his drunk off, and you get on out of here.
Sure thing.
And he doesn't. I mean, he lowers the rifle a little bit, but he still keeps it up because you're kind of a big guy, and
right.
The father, when you kind of set him down, he might he goes to reach, for the shotgun, and the son goes, "Dad, we're gonna for this shit. We're gonna freak." And he'll mutter under his breath and go over to check out the animals. And Samson, the animal tamer, kind of, I mean, he looks deflated.
Yeah, I am gonna march him back to the carnival before he can cause any more trouble.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like something's just been drained out of him. And you do smell, he clearly has been drinking, actually. You will smell whatever moonshine he was able to get the last town. He's got that deep on his breath. And you can walk him back there. Do you say anything to him as you carry him back?
I think I just I think I just what were you thinking, man? What, but I don't really expect an answer. It's just I'm kind of half-heartedly berating him the whole way. But even he knows that I'm not I don't know.
He just kind of says, "I've just been so alone.
We've got a whole carnival of people, and we can, just if you want to pet, just talk to Pearl. She can."
I don't want a chipmunk or a prairie dog. I used to have a tiger. I could get in its head.
None of those things back there were tigers.
And that'll kind of bring him even more down to earth, and you can see that's starting to settle in on him, and he'll get quiet the rest of the walk/carry back to the camp. Myrtle, what do we see of you in the darkness of the night then?
So I think what you see is sort of like, let me ask a question. Just
sure.
So I have an idea for sort of really a scene ending moment, to then cut to the next day, or at least to keep Myrtle out for the rest of the night.
Sure.
But also, if we want to have the night continue, I can do something different.
I think what we'll do is we'll have you finish out that scene, and then we'll come back to Pearl, because I think she'll want to talk to the carnival boss, and then we'll probably cut forward.
Great. So I think as after Sandra walks away, the maybe a longish tracking shot, through the field, past a copse of trees to a little gully, maybe a kind of a dry stream bed or something like that in the winter might be a little full, might have a little trickle, and you just see Pearl kind of shivering with her knees against her chest and her arms around them, maybe even rocking back and forth a little bit, with the darkness still in her eyes but fading. And that's what it is.
Maybe the sound of the whispers of the animals that you can hear really loudly here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Pearl, I know that you have to talk to Wilhelmina, to her. How do you want to do that?
So I would assume it's night and we had set up camp, so she's probably overseeing some people who are cleaning up or setting up for tomorrow. So I will probably just kind of like wheel myself up to her and just be like, hey, Wilhelmina. Hi, how are you?
Hey, where's the others?
Oh, I think they went to go look after Samson, but I'm sure they'll be back soon. Anyway, I have a favor to ask.
You have a favor? What kind of favor it is you will be wanting?
So I have these two friends, and they need a place to hang out for a little bit. You know, kind of not so maybe people with guns can't find them. It would mean a lot to me if they could stay.
Where did someone like you make friends out here in the middle of the nowheres?
Oh, I make friends wherever I go. I'm just you know, I like to make friends.
That's not a real answer to my question, Pearl.
They are maybe in trouble, and I want to help them.
And she's like, she's hesitating because you certainly are asking for something. Are you offering her anything? What are you gonna?
Well,
or are you more demanding?
So here's a question about this. So I have Beauty from Below, which means when I strike a deal, I can roll Grace. But that's it. I still have to offer her something. I still have to offer her something that she like something precious, correct?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and it can be metaphorical. It can be it's sort of the value that you put in it.
So I mean, I have something. I have my comb, but I'm not sure I'm willing to part with it right now.
That's right.
So is there anything I can offer as far as like a service? Could I do additional hours or put in some work at the carnival? Or
she says, I know that you have declined it before, but should we get a patron that wishes a private one-on-one show with you, perhaps you'd be willing to do that if we had a high roller.
Okay. I will do that. As long as it's not weird.
Honey, we're all weird.
Okay.
But I know what you mean. No, we'll have someone standing by. Nobody's going to touch the merchandise, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Let's have you roll Guile.
Okay. I can roll.
Great. That's right. You get to roll better stat.
Yeah. Ooh, still not great. I got a 7.
Okay. So it's going to be deal's going to be struck. You have a choice. You can either mark darkness, or you get to choose one from there.
Let me see. Someone else pays a price, but I think I would just mark darkness for this because I feel like this is kind of a dark scenario.
Yeah, kind of stepping over a little bit of a line that you had set maybe there.
Yeah. Oh, I can't update the.
Geez. Yeah. Try this second link that I dropped for the thing. The first one I did the view only by accident.
Got it. Thank you. Okay.
And she'll say, all right. So yeah, I can get I can get some makeup for the gentleman, and we'll get a beard. We'll get Anastasia to put a spirit gum beard on the lady, and we'll set her off to the side.
This means so much to me. Thank you. I know it'll mean a lot to them also.
She'll say, you should not have put yourself out there for other people like that. You're only going to get bit.
Well, I mean, what's the whole point then if you don't try?
She kind of shakes her head. And we'll probably see in the background, we see Sandor returning with Samson. And I think we can cut forward to the next day. Does that seem cool?
I know it's early. Is it okay if we take a quick bio break now?
Sure. Let's take 5 now.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Take 5 minutes. All right. So the next day, that as soon as the sun comes up, there's that flurry of activity of getting the tent up, of getting everything arranged, of getting all the signs done. What Let me ask this. I think this is a big question we don't have an answer to. I'm going to start with you, Sandor. I'm going to ask you this. How does this carnival advertise itself? What is it? How does it present itself?
So I think we put up a lot of there's like A-frame board signs along the road, but also I think some of the carnival workers have kids, and they like send them into town to like talk to all the local kids and tell them about this awesome carnival. And then like those kids go home and tell their parents about this awesome carnival that they just absolutely have to go to.
Yes, they unload the kids. They send them off with a couple of pennies, send them into town, have them carry flyers wherever they can. Probably got a couple of adults that will go and make sure nothing goes too crazy there. And got the flats out by the road. This is a campground the guys have been at before too, so it is a set place. Let me ask you this, Pearl. What's the sort of the name or the imagery that's associated on the posters, on the flyers? What do we see?
I think the biggest draw, I think that there would be some like traditional imagery, and I think there would probably be like an artist rendering of maybe of Sandor, just because he's the strong man, so people always kind of like that. And I would also think that there's like a big tent and maybe like, an acrobat or something like that. I don't even know if we have acrobats, but it would be kind of funny if we just had like a bunch of imagery like that kind of made us look like we were more legitimate than we actually were. So
right. It's a real circus, and you have a tent, but maybe you're not doing all of the big top stuff. Okay.
They don't have to know it as long as we have, their money, whatever, they'll come in and pay. So
that makes sense to me. And Myrtle, what do you figure are the big draws for the carnival?
So I think one thing the carnival is actually having a really hard time dealing with right now is the decline of Samson. Right. I think that like alongside the promotional material about Sandra the Strongman, there's like a lot of like see the lion tamer, and like we have all this, like we can't invest in more like big time stuff, and so like we're kind of like trying to, with our barkers and with our cheaper, like more ephemeral advertising, we're like trying to play up like the mysterious freak show kind of thing, so that like it's like me and Pearl, and there's probably a dog-faced boy, and maybe a few, like maybe I'm like trying to think of like the chicken lady from Freaks,
right?
Like,
okay.
And like we're starting. I think like we're moving away from circus and towards freak show in our advertising. But like we also have all this stuff that's like promoting Samson from 10 years ago, when
when he was in his prime, in his pith helmet days and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, but before I move on, one more question for Sandor. Sandor, what does your performance costume look like? I know the white robe for Myrtle, and we kind of know what Pearl's sort of mermaidish thing looks like. What is your strongman outfit?
I think it's just like I think it's like fairly normal clothes, but too small, and like the buttons on the shirt are like pulled out, so like just to make me look bigger than I am. But it's meant to make me look like I'm trying to look bigger than I am.
Okay. And so let's cut to maybe middle of the day. You know, at that break time, the person is handing out the soup, you know, the stew for everybody who's working here. And the three of you can have a chance to maybe chat about what's going on, what happened last night, all that kind of thing. Certainly, Sandor, you would see the new bearded lady, and the sort of the weird clown, pig-faced gentleman, who the makeup is not great on it, but they've done it. So the three of you can chat. What do you want to tell them about this plan that you came up with, Pearl?
So, these are, I mean, I would tell them that, you know, clearly they would recognize them as the migrant workers. So I'd say, listen, this is, we're just going to keep them safe for a little while. And this will work. I made a deal with Wilhelmina, so I think we're okay. And maybe there'll be even big draws to the carnival. Who knows? It might be, you know, win-win for everyone.
Oh, that's you're getting devious.
Oh, go on.
Oh, no, give it like, you know, give a few years, you're going to be in charge of this place at this rate. How'd you get Wilhelmina to agree to this?
Well, I told her I would clean up after the lion tamer's animals for the rest of the month.
He doesn't have any animals.
Well, you know, he's gonna get some, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna get him some, I think, because I think we told him that.
Oh, I mean, I could do that. By the way, I do have a question. Myrtle, do you eat animals just like all the time, or is that just for show?
I like kind of daintily wipe the disgusting amount of gruel that I have like swiftly devoured and is now all over my face and a little bit on my shirt. And I sort of like very daintily clean it off. And I say, sweetie, I eat whatever I can whenever I can get it.
Yeah, because I mean, I can help get you some of those animals. I mean, if you need them.
I was hoping you would. I was hoping you would, but I look at Sander, and then I look over at the migrant workers, and I say, you really think we need more of that kind of trouble?
I mean, most of our trouble last night came from one of us.
Every one of us is trouble.
Yes.
I'm asking if we need more of it.
I mean, you know, at a certain point, it doesn't matter anymore. We're all trouble. You know, maybe they can. Yeah, maybe they can bring in people. I think that lady seems to really, you know, kind of be enjoying the attention with the beard.
And I said to Pearl, you got a real big heart. You got a real big heart.
I'm like gonna like just be like, humming a little bit, and then like a little mouse will come out from under like the corner, and I'll just like swipe it, and I'll be like, here, this is for you.
I say.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Let's. I'm gonna save this one for the punters later, but thanks.
Punters.
I sort of like grab it, like I take it and I sort of like pet its little head as I eye it hungrily. Maybe sort of like sniff a little bit, and it gets sort of pop it into the. I'm wearing maybe like a long wool skirt and a plain white blouse, and I sort of like pop it into the pocket of the blouse so its little nose can pick up, and maybe I don't know if it's trying to escape or not, but that's where it is for the time being.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you. Maybe we should see what people want to do before the evening show. If maybe we do a once around and check in and see what everybody wants to do, and then we'll kind of cut to the evening show and see what that generates. Does that seem like a good way to handle things? Okay. So Sandor, after lunch, after you've done your work, what do you want to do? Is there anything that off sort of the general workload that you want to indulge in?
Did Pearl give any more details about this migrant couple and what they were running from?
Pearl, would you have given the story of them?
Yeah, I probably would have told them what I found out from them. I don't really. I mean, I don't think I would have hidden that from, at least not from Sandor, but probably not from either of you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you have that in mind.
Yeah, this judge guy.
Yeah. Oh man, you've got an itch on the back of your neck when she tells you that story.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna bring that up to Myrtle. Not the itch on the back of the neck or the spirit speaking in my head about it, but like, hey, this judge person seems like he might be a big threat. We should probably find out what we could be up against.
I don't know, like, guess it's better to find out who we're going to be hiding from, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the sheriff already seemed pretty suspicious, and we know their associates, so I think we should know.
Just Xander, don't try so hard to help.
Yeah, well, I mean, things need to be done.
Sometimes it's better not to do them, and it's always better not to be seen doing them.
That I can get on board with.
And so let me ask you this, Sander, how would you do this? Are you heading into town to, well, you look fairly normal, but people know you're an out-of-towner.
Yeah. I think, let's see. Okay, so I look fairly normal. Does Myrtle, like, seem normal at all, or is this...
So, Myrtle stands out in general. Not like, I think in a big like city with a diverse population, I don't think like some people might like look at her twice and be like, wait, what? But in a small town, especially like a small town with a mostly white population, I think she would attract attention. She can dress conservatively. She can wear a hat to cover her face, but like, both her sort of height for a woman, her like the way she carries herself, and her skin is going to make her, someone that people notice in a place like that.
Okay.
But you can, Samson, if you want to go ahead without me, I just called you Samson. Sander, if you want to go ahead without me.
Yeah. Okay.
That might be the best thing anyway.
So, okay, people are gonna recognize me as being from out of town, but like other than that, I'm just some guy. So I'm gonna pretend I'm looking for a job.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, um, let's obviously this place, I mean, most people are going to be directing you towards, farmhand stuff, but things are tight and you're going to get turned down on that, but it does give you a fiction to kind of walk around and talk to people. What is it that you kind of want to know?
I want to know more about this judge guy. I want to know like where he is, if he's known to like what kind of reputation he has in town, I guess.
Sure. You know what? Here's what we'll do is I'll answer some questions about that, and then we'll go to that keep an eye out for trouble move.
Okay.
Or the Endure Darkness. We'll see which one we end up with. So his name is Claudius Cloudy Lockman. They call him Cloudy, call him Judge Cloudy, or Judge Lockman if they're being particularly severe. And he is essentially the county judge. He's supposed to be kind of a circuit judge, but he doesn't travel. People bring cases here to him, and they've got a little courthouse here. It's a very podunk town, very small, nothing town except for this courthouse. It looks like maybe at one point, the rest of the town burned down, but the courthouse survived, and they built up around.
Okay.
And he is supposed to be fair-minded, but he clearly doesn't. He's got a reputation for helping to keep outsiders out, and things, and you have a sense just from talking to a few people that besides his own farm, he probably ends up setting up and sending migrants that have been given these fines to other farms to have those worked off. So there's a lot of people who kind of don't want to say anything bad because he's helping out the lifeblood of this town of Hazelden.
Okay.
He's kind of got gray, wispy hair. He's a tall, rail-thin gentleman, old stock, and that's the general impression of him. Does that seem like fair info?
Yeah, that says.
Okay. Do you want to push it and like see if you can spot trouble here, or?
Yeah, I kind of want to know like. Yeah, I will keep an eye out for trouble.
Okay. Let's have you roll with your guile then.
Where's my guile one? Okay. That's a 4.
That is a 4. So you've been asking around for a while, and you will be coming out of this shop, and you kind of come up short because all the hackles in the back of your neck go up. And you'll kind of turn, and you'll see this 6-foot-something tall gentleman, got a black suit on, got a bolo tie, turquoise in the center of that bolo, strings going down, thin neck, hair that's more like a cloud of white, of wisp, but you can see his skull through there, got the like liver spots, and your spirit's like, oh, like just your justice is just just and you can feel the a little bit of that shadow, that darkness kind of roll off of this person, and he says, "Well, you're a newcomer, aren't you? What's your name, son?"
I'm Sandor. I'm just in town looking for a job.
Well, I've been talking to some people and understand you maybe been asking about me.
Well, you're well known in this town. You're a common topic of conversation.
I see. And he kind of steps forward, so he's kind of right up in your personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Yeah, see, when people come around and ask about judges, usually that indicates to me a criminal disposition. Do you have a criminal disposition?"
Not usually. Think everybody does now and then.
Not everybody. It's a good law-abiding folks in this town. I'd hate to see you make a misstep.
Don't intend to.
Do you have a place to stay?
Well, I got a ride here with the carnival, so I figured I'd stay there and help out with the labor until they move on. But I'd rather stay here and have an honest job.
See, we have pretty severe vagrancy laws in this town, but it sounds to me like you have employment.
I do.
Well, why don't you turn around and head back to the circus?
Yeah. Is there anyone else around?
There are probably some people inside, but everybody's gotten very quiet. Probably maybe some people across the way. What are you looking for?
Yeah, just kind of reactions.
When they see the judge talking to somebody, they kind of avert their eyes.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to get involved.
Okay. I guess it's enough information for right now. I'll go back.
He watches you. You can feel his eyes boring into your back. Yeah. All the time, each step that you take away, that spirit's going, no, turn around and kill him.
In front of all these people. You want me to kill their judge in front of all of these people?
He's not justice.
How long do you think I'd be your useful tool while I'm in prison?
Justice makes sacrifices.
Look, I can kill him before we leave.
And it will.
I don't want to do it in front of people.
Now, when you say that. Let me come back. Pearl, what are you up to in the afternoon here?
That's a good question. So, I mean, I would assume I would be just kind of helping out with the other people at the carnival, working with them. Maybe just trying to. I mean, I certainly can't go into town.
Right.
If I could move. So, I don't know. I would probably just be helping to set up, and
there will be a point in that mid-afternoon as you're doing that Samson comes over to where you're at. Hey, Pearl.
Hey, what's? I heard you had a rough night.
Yeah. Sandor said you could call me up something.
What do you need? What do you mean?
Like a real animal, like a real animal.
Well, I mean, I sometimes can get, like squirrels and bunnies and maybe like a robin.
Can't you call something bigger?
Well, what do you have in mind?
I don't know. Like just something, something strong, something with something here that I can bond with.
So, I mean, we're in the desert, right?
You're in the California desert, yeah.
What kind of animals are there in the desert that's big and strong? I can.
You could. I mean, if you wanted to try and reach out, you could try and find like a some kind of bird, like a bird of prey.
Yeah.
Or there are desert cats.
Are there like big lizards?
Probably there are. Or coyotes.
Coyotes.
Or coyotes, as other people might say.
Okay. Sure, I can try. I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I've never done this before. Really. I mean, all I can usually get are the little ones, but I mean, I can try if it means a lot to you.
It does. It does.
Does he smell like alcohol at this point?
No, he's stone cold sober.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I could just kind of like, maybe he could lead me to a place if he knows of a place where there are some animals or a coyote or something that he can find, and I can call it and maybe calm it a little.
Sure. He'd be glad to kind of roll you out to the edge, and so we got a couple ways that we could handle this.
Yeah.
We could do this with a roll, and we could see how well you do. Or we could just have you mark darkness, and you can tell me what you find.
Well, it's a really good question because I don't know how would I roll for this? What would I even roll?
I would say we'd use grace. Essentially, we can figure out a custom move for this, I think, on the fly here.
Okay. So I also do have my siren song, but but that's when I use it as a weapon.
Yeah. See, I think this is us using the siren song to do something new, which I like the idea of. So I think we can do that.
All right, cool. I will do that then. I will try rolling for grace. And
that sounds good.
Hold on.
If nothing else, it's an opportunity to mark XP.
That's true. Yeah, I got a 6 for that.
So, the good news is you get to mark XP.
Yeah.
The bad news is I do think you're going to need to mark darkness.
Okay.
And tell me what you get that's not quite great. And you can even say a class of animals, and I'll pick one.
I kind of like the idea of it being like some kind of desert, like a scorpion or a spider.
Okay.
And do you want me to say what I think would happen, or are you going to narrate that part?
Well, you could. I mean, I think you'll summon a tarantula. I mean, okay. they're a desert. They appear in California. They're on the list on Wikipedia. So tell me what happens. What happens when you summon this tarantula?
So I would think that I would sing, but maybe I'm a little uncomfortable, a little scared. I'm a little intimidated by Samson, and my voice maybe warbles a little as I sing, to call my usual animal, but I try to do something a little different. So instead of getting a cute little woodland creature or something, or something somewhat harmless or more benign, I guess, I would just think that like after like a couple seconds, we would just see like the sand kind of moving on like in front of us a little bit, and like we would just see like a giant like tarantula just like crawling out of the ground, and was summoned by my call.
And he looks down on it. He looks a little downcast. Is that it?
I mean, that's probably the best I'm gonna do right now. And maybe
right now, right? You maybe later on when you get like the full moon or something.
I don't know how it works. My voice is a little sore though. I don't know if I can sing again today.
Okay, well, but maybe again later, right?
Sure, I'll try. But I mean, the spider is pretty cool, right?
He scoops it up, just to try and not offend you. No, this is fine. This is fine. I always want a tarantula. I will go and yeah, that'll be great for the act. Right. All right. Okay. And he will head off. Of course, he does the thing where he walks away. He rolled you out here, and then he walks away with the spider, kind of leaves you at the edge. So roll myself
back through the sand.
So let me cut to Myrtle. Myrtle, what are you up to in the afternoon?
So I think I watched Sander drive away towards town.
I should probably walk into town.
Oh wait, yeah. So I watched Sander walk away into town, and I don't once he's sort of like just another speck in the horizon. I turn around and I head back into the circus, and I think I'm gonna I spend like a good chunk of the afternoon just doing like my tasks, the thing that I have to do to prepare for my act at night. So like I'm washing the blood out of my robes, which is, you can imagine, they're white robes. It's like a kind of difficult process. I've got to get that all out. I guess probably anyways. And I'm sort of like thinking about what's going on. I think maybe after, if Marissa's still here, yeah, Pearl, if maybe after I do that, I look through, like, and I realize I have this mouse for tonight, but like I don't have enough, in my little cage. I have these in my trailer. Maybe I have like these cages of, like different small woodland small desert creatures that I've collected. But I'm like, I know I have to eat something every 25 minutes or so for however many hours, and then I'm short. This is so as I like sort of put the mouse in the cage and I'm feeding all the other animals what I need to feed them, and I'm very careful about it. I take good care of them until it's their time. I realize I have to go maybe talk to Pearl about getting some more.
Sure.
So
can easily head out and find Pearl rolling back from the field edge.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe I see you rolling back, Pearl, and I've got sort of like an empty cage in one hand, and you can sort of like guess what I'm coming for. And I don't say anything, but I sort of like get behind the wagon and start pushing to like, you know, get you to somewhere where we could have a little bit of still on the edge of the circus, but where we could have a little bit of privacy.
Okay.
Question for you, Pearl. 2 questions. Number one, we may have discussed this last week, but how long have you been with the circus?
That's a really good question. I figure I'm still kind of new, but I know the ropes, so figure maybe a couple of months. Okay.
And like, it's clear that you know, from the conversation earlier, it's clear that like you know that I need the creatures. Like, have you done this for me much before? Or is this like the first time I'm really coming to you to ask you?
Well, I think I think I would have maybe done it in the past, kind of because I kind of think you're cool. I think that's my connection with you is I kind of, sorry, you're not just cool, I'm in love with you, apparently. So I kind of want to get on your good side. So maybe I do this and kind of like every so often, but I don't know that if you've ever come to me previously and was like, we need to set up like some kind of like plan for this. So
right. So it's always kind of like ad hoc, is what you're saying.
I would think so.
Okay, I think I like it that way.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, I don't want a sense of like strong mutual obligation where there's a system. And I prefer when you offer as opposed to asking. And like the fact that you offered earlier is the thing I'm taking as my window, but also this is not something I have done before, really. Like, I think I didn't realize how short I was. Otherwise, I would have taken you up on it fully earlier. So yeah. There's like a little bit of like a, I don't want to ask you, but you know what I'm here for kind of thing.
Okay.
So where do you think I roll you to? Where do you think we go to do this?
Where it's quiet, or what are you looking for?
So like, I just want a bunch of sort of like small to mid-sized rodents. So I'm not sure exactly like what that would be here. Probably some desert rats, some mice, maybe some squirrels or something.
Yeah.
And like, I probably need like, it's a pretty big cage I'm carrying, and I probably need like, let's say I have a bunch back in my trailer, but I need like another half a dozen to 10.
Okay.
Like a good number of like these small creatures to just sort of walk their way into this like cage that I'm carrying with surprising ease.
Okay. So I just want to meta game and say I do like that, like my ability to collect animals is kind of like a drug dealer sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, are you going to explicitly tell me what you're looking for, or is this kind of like implied, or are you going to like hint at it, or are you just going to be like?
So I have not said a word to you, right? I'm sort of like rolling you to a place that I think is a likely place, like towards the edge of the camp, maybe not even so far from where you're at now, but like a little bit more private, maybe behind a trailer.
Okay.
And I've said hello, and I've looked at you, and I can see that you're kind of like something happened, but I don't ask you about it, and like I'm sort of like leaving it open to you to sort of say like, you know, you can like push me to ask, or you can just like, what, you know, that's the, I am not being very giving or open in the interaction.
So I mean, I just tried to get Samson something, and my voice kind of hurts right now, and I don't know if I can do this. I can try, though.
I say, honey, you've always done it before, and you sing so beautiful. I'm sure maybe you can't bring what Samson wants, but no one can give that man what he's looking for anymore. the small critters I need, they'll love you just as much as always, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, I'll try. I mean, listen, she's kind of in awe of you and is kind of like intrigued and wants to be supportive, but at the same time, she probably does have a sore voice, and I don't know.
Do we want to take that as offering comfort?
Interesting.
You offering me comfort?
Yes. Like I don't know how, like, the way you said that before, like it was sort of like you needed something, you were feeling lacking confidence, lacking, and so I was trying to sort of like provide you with comfort for that. But I don't know if
or I could see it the other way, since you're asking for something and you're in need. What do you think?
Could do it. Yeah, I mean, however you guys want to play it, that works for me too.
What do you think, Pearl? How strongly invested in this are you? Are you accepting, or are you kind of, giving and kind of pushing that way?
Well, I mean, I think I'm not like, I don't really love that she bites the heads off of animals, but I don't really have any kind of like, I'm not really like, I don't feel like kinship with the animals I call necessarily. I'm not Snow White, so I don't really. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I think that makes sense. I think you are giving her something that she needs. So let's have you roll Grace. Let's see what you get from that comfort. Okay. Offer comfort.
Let me try. Okay, so that is a 7.
There's a 7. So you get to ask 2 of those questions, and then she gets to ask 1 back.
I get to ask 2 questions, or
Myrtle does? You ask 2 questions, then she asks 1 back.
Okay. From the offer comfort one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask I kind of want to I don't even know if this is appropriate, but I kind of want to ask what disgusts you about yourself.
Oh,
I think that's perfect.
That's deeply appropriate. Thank you. I like that question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what disgusts me about myself, is my need to remain hidden, to hide, to be in the dark places. Like, I feel like I should be this majestic goddess that demands worship. But instead I sneak around and steal it when I can, and that makes me a little sick about myself.
Nice.
And then my other question is, how can I get you to love me back?
How can I get you to love me back?
I love you, or am in love with you, so I want to know what I can do, I guess, to get you to.
The answer is, like, stop hiding your love and submit to me.
Stop hiding my what?
Love and submit to me.
Oh.
Like, make yourself vulnerable in that way.
All right.
Interesting. And then you get 1 question back, and then I'm going to cut back to Sandor to kind of start off our evening stuff.
Mm-hmm. I would like to know, what do you desire from the people you saved, the people you brought into the circus, the two migrants? Do they have names? We should give them names, right?
Yeah. Let's call them Marta and Eduardo.
Yeah. So, what do you desire from Marta and Eduardo?
I just want them to, I mean, I do want them to be safe, but what do I desire from them is, on a deeper level, I kind of want them to make, to be, I'm trying to think of how to word this. I don't want them to worship me or anything like that, but I want them, I want their love, and I want their respect, and I want them to, because I think deep down I kind of am starting to realize that I'm not that important. And it's taking some time, but it's getting there. But I think maybe I want them to redeem me, or be people I can connect with, and then this whole thing will be worthwhile. All of the pain and all of the suffering and the struggle I've had since I've left the sea. So
awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So we're going to roll forward to the evening performance, to as dusk falls, as people walk up and cars come and park, and they set up the generator for what lights they have here and get all that stuff, and the carnies are out on the midway, and they've got the fortune telling booths, and they've got popcorn, and the cotton candy, and the kids are running around, they're all excited, but there's all the barkers calling about the mysteries of the weird freak show, things like that. And Sandor, you're probably out, flexing to kind of show off before the show, and you will see that young man, that farmer that you saw from before. It kind of walks up. You can see that he's clearly kind of an outsider. Even here among people, like he isn't here with anybody, and you don't see many of the locals talking to him, but he'll kind of wanders up to where you're at. Hey,
I'm glad you decided to come.
well, you said there were free tickets.
Yeah. Come with me. I'll get you in.
Okay. Yeah, just because it's free, you don't ever want to throw that. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Don't waste not, want not.
Yeah. You ever seen a real mermaid?
Well, mermaids aren't real, so right? No, I ain't done that.
Well, come with me.
And he's trying hard once you kind of get him in here to not gawp, to not like stand around with his mouth open. And so you can take him in to see Pearl, and he'll be like,
Right.
does that. What else do you show him to kind of get him to maybe be more happy about the circus?
Let's see what else is here. Trying to think of things that would be more happy and exciting than scary.
Sure.
Because he seemed pretty freaked out about the animals. I make a point to steer him away from Samson. But
Samson and his deadly desert tarantula.
Right, yeah. Or actually, you know what? Maybe that would be unimpressive enough to
that probably will break some of the spell of the weirdness.
It would be a lot less mysterious in the daylight with the tarantula.
Tarantula hop. You know, that's all he's able to do right now.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I take him to, to see Samson, and like, I don't know, maybe try to get Samson to apologize. But even if not, like, this would take some of that, like, yeah, like I want him to be, like, impressed, but I don't want him to be scared.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is scare people around here.
Yeah, so certainly there's the magician's assistant who's dressed, in the just typical magician's assistant costume. He'll gawp at that, and you probably got the fortune teller woman, who's got the cards out there, and so he's very, he will eventually just kind of be bewildered by the wonder of it.
Right.
Do you think you're offering comfort for him? Do you want to get some info out of him?
That is a good question. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then let's have you roll grace.
Eight.
An 8. So you get to ask him 2 questions off of the offer comfort.
Wow. Okay. All of these are good.
Yeah.
I don't really have a plan here.
Sure. No. And you can certainly rephrase if you want to use him to get, info, since you were looking around for that before. Feel free to kind of modify those.
Yeah, well, what do you desire from this carnival? Like, what you come here looking for?
Well, and it plays into the question I'm going to ask you. So he's kind of like he came here because he wanted to see another opportunity, another world. And wanted to see what was here and see the wonder of it. And it's not just that horrible backyard, in an empty house with his dad. And that's kind of why he came here. And what's in the back of his mind is he would like to know how he could get you to take him with you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've got no problem. We can always use more people. I would like his dad not to come after us with a gun again, though. That's a little possibly a catch to this. So I want to find out if he has, because he seemed to react to the animals as if he felt it, aside from just like yes, it was weird. Most people would be a little creeped out, but he seemed like I want to see if there's something weird about him.
He says, when you kind of maybe at the end, when you kind of get to the edge of this and you're talking to him and you maybe mention the animals and ask about what was that, and he says, well, I've seen something like that before. Out in the fields one night, like a couple months ago, I saw some of the farmers out, and they were going out, not in their fields, but like out in the middle. And they had some people with them. And I kind of followed for a while, but I didn't follow it all the way because I saw the judge and some of the others, and I could feel got that sensation that like that night, like the creepiness, like something bad was going to happen, and I could tell they were going to do something bad to those people. Some migrants, taking them out into the heart field, one for the center of the town, the shared field, the common. Looks like that.
And the judge was like, you know anything else about the judge? That there's something a little strange about that guy.
and he'll maybe start to talk, and then you'll see him look up and kind of freeze, and you can look down the midway, and you will see the judge actually walking along, hands behind his back, talking with some of the other people who were there, and kind of walking and mildly observing things here at this carnival. And this young man gets quiet.
Yeah. I kind of want to warn Marta and Eduardo, because like I feel like he would recognize them, or at least Marta. I mean, a beard it's some disguise, but I would like to keep her out of his sight.
Okay, so you'll go off to maybe try and get them to safety. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Let me cut, and let me. I want to see about the axe here. So my fine geek Myrtle, you have your show. You get to show off to these people here. And do your performance, and get to try and use this to do something. What is it that you want to do with your show this evening?
So, I mean, I think I'm concerned about the judge, and I'm concerned about, like, I assume, Sander, you can tell me if I'm right about this, Sander, that you told us like about your interaction with him.
Yeah.
Right. So like I'm not expecting him to show up necessarily, but what I would like to do is get the attention of like somebody important in town. And so I've sort of like I've got maybe like the Barkers out trying to direct somebody.
Like one of the other big farmers, like let's say they're a gang of 5 that are the big farmers that own the orchards and some of the land around here. Get one of those
Right.
people, and they'll grab guy Mr. Clark, and Mr. Clark's one of the big wigs, and he's older and kind of fat, and he's heard there's some exotic beauty doing exotic things, and so the Barkers will direct him your way, and he comes in, and you can smell the authority off of him as he comes in.
Right.
And what do you do?
I think this is a private show, right? Like there's like normally there might be, it's a small booth. I don't have there are 8 to 12 people in here, but it's just him standing, like maybe sitting in the middle, and I'm lit right on the stage. And I think I step down off the stage, and it's relatively early in the night, so I'm kind of clean, but there's some blood dribbling down the corner of my mouth, and I think maybe it follows down like a line down the side of the robe until it fades out, and they're the cleanest robes I have, but that doesn't mean they don't have a few. You can't see the stains so well in the dark room, but they're there.
Okay. And he's kind of fascinated. And are you doing your show? Shall we have you make your headless beast roll?
Yeah, I'm doing my. I'm absolutely doing my show, and I'm holding like it's maybe up my sleeve in like a little thing, and I reach into my sleeve, and I pull out actually a squirrel, it's one of the larger animals I use in the show, and I just sort of make direct eye contact with him, and I wordlessly bite off the head of the squirrel and crunch and chew and crunch, and I'll roll.
Absolutely. There's a cat objecting to your description there, or sympathizing.
Okay. I was going to say the dog behind me is very excited by it. Ooh, that's not a good situation. That is a 6, folks.
That is a 6. So he was kind of looking at you with that sort of desire, or that sort of fascination and that eye contact, and he kind of doesn't notice, and then you do that, and he flips out, like he's like, "Bah!" And he does that, sort of wheels back, falls against the tent wall, kind of knocks chairs down, and goes running out of here, terrified, out onto the midway, like, "Bah!" And he is screaming. That clearly just absolutely terrified him. Like he saw some deeper darkness there in you, and he lost it. Does that seem like a fair thing? Oh, you get to mark XP too.
Oh, so yeah, I mean that was actually somewhat less severe than I was expecting. I go back onto stage and I sit on my stool and I cross my legs and I sort of sigh, and I take a handkerchief and I wipe the blood from the corner of my mouth, and I drop the body of the squirrel into the wherever I dispose of these things, and maybe I wipe a tear from my eyes also, as I'm like, something is like I lost something there,
right?
Something now missing.
Let me cut to Pearl. Pearl, you will put on your show. You will do your recruitments. You do your shows, and then after a bit, Wilhelmina will come in and will say, "There's a gentleman who requests a private show with you, and he has given me the cash for that. So if you would give him some moments of your time."
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we made a deal, and I'm not going to back out on it now.
And she'll say, "I'll have someone. Don't worry, I'll have someone outside. If there's any problem, you just whistle."
Okay.
And she'll go out and she'll go, "You come in. You can come in." And you will see the sheriff come in.
Oh man, I don't like him. So I recognize him because I saw him from before. So what exactly is he looking for at this point?
You don't know. You don't know. Do you want to try and keep an eye out for trouble?
I can try. I don't think I'll do well, but I can try. Let's see. Yeah, that's a 5.
Well, the good news is
I mark experience.
that you get to mark experience.
Yeah.
And I think the bad news is that he gets up like right up to the tank. And you have the sense of a guy who is, probably kind of shrink back, like he likes the sense that he's in charge.
Right.
And clearly for him, and you can stop me if this is too awful, there is the sense that because you're a mermaid in this tank, you can't go anywhere. And he can just lean on the edge and just get in close, and you have to perform for him.
Oof.
And he goes, "Aren't you going to sing for me, mermaid?"
I feel as though I want to embrace the darkness at this moment.
All right.
I'm going to try to embrace the darkness.
Go ahead and roll breath.
That's a 7.
That is a 7. So you mark darkness, and then you choose one from that list. What do you want to do to him?
I want to show him true disgust. And I want to basically sing for him. So it says, extend my abilities to do something inhuman. I want to show him that he is as powerful as he thinks he is. I think he is trash. And I want to I'm not really sure what I could do that would be inhuman other than
so you can mermaid out
yeah
fully and show him that he probably thinks that you're a woman with that fishtail on in this and they're kind of trapped there. What do you do to show him that he is absolutely wrong and that he has no control in this situation?
Okay, so I think at this point my eyes would kind of turn a little kind of go all fishy. I don't know, kind of look like fish eyes. I probably have gills, but I don't use them because I'm out in the air. So I would probably they would kind of be way more pronounced, and I would probably have this this kind of shimmer of myself, and then I would probably want to sing or scream or make some kind of awful sound that just makes him terrified.
Yeah, you will do that, and at first he's like, you kind of start to do the song and kind of rise up, and he's like, okay, that's a cool effect. But then he begins to realize, as your skin kind of changes color, as the temperature in here, the light, everything changes, and that sound kind of reels around, and he's hanging on to the side of the tank, and you see his hands kind of start to shake, and then he has to pry them off of there, and you see he actually has maybe broken a fingernail in that, and there's blood running down his hand, and he kind of staggers back, and he's like, what are you? And,
I am the sea.
and he falls down, knocking over, and he crawls out of the tent, and you hear Wilhelmina goes, y'all come back.
Oh, awesome.
And so you are going to try and find then Sandor, you're going to try and find Marta and Eduardo before the judge can spot them. So I think I want you to endure the darkness.
Okay. No, whether I use my special move or not, it's still a 6.
So, that's delicious. So, let me have you mark your XP. And you are kind of moving around trying to find that. And you will hear a scream. And you kind of round this corner, and you will see the judge, and he has grabbed Marta by the shoulder, and he has ripped that spirit gum beard off of her face. And that's pretty. That gum stays on there. So I mean, it's just he's just torn it off, and he's saying, "Oh, there you are, little one, little Marta. You're Y'all coming back to the farm with me now, hiding out here. You made a mistake. You brought pain on all of these good people here. What do you want to do, Sandor?
You know, I mean, I've had this voice in my head all this time, and like I went to all the effort of protecting these people, and this guy is about to like, you know, take that away. So, I'll pick up like a mallet we use to drive in tent pegs. And I'm gonna just like go up to him and like I want to drag him like somewhere just out of sight, and you know, beat him with a mallet.
Okay, so I think that I think you're going to need to embrace the darkness to get him out of here. Does that seem like a fair way to do that?
Completely fair, yes. Plus a breath. Oh, that is really not my strong suit. Come on, roll. Whoops. Now it rolled like 3 times.
Okay.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna touch it.
Okay, what do you got? Looks like a
9.
looks like a 9.
I have a, what is my breath? Okay, it's -1, so it's 8.
Okay, so what do you want? I think you are kind of you're the what you're doing is you're grabbing them and take where are you running him off to?
Oh, you know what? The sheriff just like came out of Pearl's tent. Well, actually, you know, but we have 2 tents where 2 people were giving private shows and scared their audience away. So whichever is closest, I want to drag him into there.
Okay. Well, let's say Pearl's tent,
Okay.
so that we can drag a somewhat dejected Myrtle over. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
So you do that. You come barreling through, and I assume you got like your hand over his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you pick him up and you grab him and you kind of push your way through the back flap, he's like iron.
Mm-hmm.
As you do that, and Pearl, you're still basking in the glow of the sheriff's running as Sandor comes in here. And you see he's got this judge in his arms, and you know the sheriff is just outside. Sandor, can I hard frame you in on this? Sorry, Myrtle, can I hand hard frame you in on this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We want to miss this.
So you're kind of dejected. You hear the scream from Pearl's tent, and you go over maybe to commiserate,
Mm-hmm.
and you will walk in on this tableau. Sandor, you've got this guy. He's held, and he's looking at you with like hate in his eyes, not fear, but hate. What do you want to do?
We gotta look around. Yeah, Myrtle, meet the judge. You know, because you know, they look probably a bit confused, and I would like both of them to kind of know what's going on, just in case they might need to help. And I think well, let's see. No, I don't want to throw him down because I don't want him to yell.
When you introduce him, can I just like walk up and kind of like caress his face and look him in the eyes?
Absolutely.
That's what I do. I walk up, I like kind of caress his face, I look him in the eyes, and I say, Sandor, while I'm looking at the judge, what kind of trouble did you buy us today? And I pull a mouse out of my robe and start petting it.
Sandor, can I have you roll Endure the Darkness? And then I want to check in with Pearl.
There. Okay. Endure the Darkness is
breath.
Yeah, actually, I could roll with bones instead, but it would still be a 7 to 9. So,
okay. So as you're kind of holding him, the judge starts pushing back and kind of shifts. You still got your hand on his mouth, but you don't quite have nearly as much control as you did. Like he's got a hold of one of your hands, and you can tell that underneath your hand he's starting to smile as he's kind of squeezing your arm there.
right.
Yeah, he doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
Pearl, what are you doing?
So I would see that Sander is kind of struggling with the judge at this point. So I would probably want to try to cripple him with my siren song.
Okay.
So I will try to do that. And that did not end up well. I think that's just a 5. Rolling poorly.
So you start to do that song, and the door flap opens, and the sheriff comes back in, and he's got his gun this time.
Ooh.
And like he's like aiming, he's like shaking, but he's aiming his gun at you. Clearly, he's decided you're something that needs to go. What do you want to do, Myrtle?
Oh God. I know what Myrtle wants to do, and I think I know what Myrtle has to do.
Yeah. Oh, Pearl, the good news is you get to mark XP.
And I think I think she was looking. I was looking hungrily down at that mouse and like ready for my next shot. And when the sheriff bursts in with that gun, like I like visibly sort of startle. And again, I think what happens is I feel the darkness coming off of the judge, like sort of like in the same way that it maybe pulled the sheriff in, it's starting to pull me in too, and I embrace it.
Okay.
Like I think that sheriff coming in the same way when the farmer's son came in, it's just more than I can.
Let's have you do breath on that, and then we're going to cut to Sandor and see what Sandor's doing.
The 7 plus 2 is a 9.
You get to pick one from the list.
Get to pick one from the list, and I don't even need to look at the one Myrtle picks. Is she gets the hell out of there.
Okay.
She can't. She just can't. It's too much. It's too terrifying.
And there, Pearl.
It's just her friends.
Myrtle is gone. Sandor got a sheriff with a gun and an inhuman judge.
Yeah. This is starting to seem like a bad idea.
What do you want to do?
So, the sheriff is the sheriff wants to shoot Pearl, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I want to kind of like I did with the farmer and his son. I kind of want to do that. Like just sort of shove the judge in between Pearl and the sheriff.
Okay. That's so. Do we think that you're using your powers to kind of do this, or are you more indulging yourself, or are we trying to just endure? What? How do you want to read that move? I can see a number of different ways that this could go, but I want to make sure I get your intent right.
I think my eventual intent is to drown him in the tank.
Okay. I think we're going to have you Embrace the Darkness with the,
Okay.
the hope of getting a couple of options on that. Doesn't look like there's a support move in here, is there? That's always interesting.
Five.
That is a 5. So, unflinching means that you take 2 harm. That's what happens. Essentially, when you go to do that, go to kind of maybe get in the way of the sheriff and get the judge over to drop him in the tank. The sheriff sticks the gun in your ribs and pulls the trigger.
That is...
And there's a boom, and you'll feel that go into you. The justice, the spirit maybe stops a little bit of that, so it doesn't kill you outright, but you can feel it lodge in you. And you probably got the judge up above you because you're thinking about dunking him in the tank. And Pearl, what do you want to do?
That's a good question. So there's right now the sheriff has shot Sander.
Yeah.
Where's the judge?
The judge is probably held above Sandor.
Okay. Still?
Yeah.
Okay. I probably need to well, I can either embrace the darkness. The gun's not pointed at me anymore, right? Or is
Nope.
he's not?
Nope, he just pulled the trigger into Sandor's side.
I can either embrace the darkness again, which I'm kind of leaning towards because I don't want Sander to get hurt. And yeah.
So what do you do? What are you trying to do? What's your goal here?
I really want to scare the crap out of them at this point.
Okay.
So I would want to show them true fear, so that the sheriff will run away and stay away.
All right, let's have you roll with your breath then.
Try this. Okay. That is a 7.
That is a 7. So you get to pick one from the list.
So hold on. I still have to mark darkness.
Yes.
I'm getting very close to max darkness, so and then hold on. So yeah, I want to show them fear. I want the sheriff to run from here and just not come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you roar and he sees all of that sea coming at him. He sees that Sandor doesn't even flinch to his eyes from the gunshot. And you let that out, and the gun falls, and he just runs. He doesn't even scream. He's so terrified. His throat is constricted, and he goes running out through the flaps. And you will see after he does that, this sort of the tightening as clearly Wilhelmina like pulls the straps on the tent. So you've got the judge, and you are bleeding out. What do you do, Sandor?
All right. Yeah. Sorry ahead of time, Pearl, about all this blood it's going to get in your tank. Yeah, I like so I've got him kind of I think like kind of hanging over the edge of the tank. And
you can tell now that you've kind of lifted him off the ground, or he's not like on the earth, like touch with the land that he's sacrificed to and bled for, that he's maybe a little bit weaker.
That's excellent. Hopefully the water doesn't help him as much as being on land does. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like shove him in and like kind of climb over and just try to like hold his head underwater.
Let's have you roll with bones. I think this is unsettling violence.
I think so, yeah. As much as I'd like to think that really was a 10, I don't think it actually is.
Oh.
Oh, well, I see. I should have just let it be a 10. But bones. So that's a 7.
7. So you have to pick 2 from the basic moves list there, from that thing. Attract unwanted attention, take it further than you intended. Someone precious to you pays for your rashness, or mark darkness as the blood stains your hands.
I mean, mark darkness seems like a really obvious choice here.
And what's the other one?
It's pretty dark. I'm not sure how I could take it further than I intended. I intend to kill him. So I'm gonna attract unwanted attention, I guess.
Okay. So I think that it is that you jam the judge into this tank like a magician's trick, and you hold him under. Pearl, do you help?
Yeah, things are getting dark.
Okay.
Maybe I'll help.
So I imagine it's that I imagine that in the water as a mermaid, you can hold anybody underwater.
Okay.
And even with his sort of somewhat supernatural strength, you will, he'll shake, and hits against, maybe even cracks the glass a little bit, but then he'll do that last shudder, and he'll finally go still in the tank. And you will hear Wilhelmina, because it's late in the show at this point. This is getting towards the closing time. You hear Wilhelmina shouting, "All right, boys, you ready to pack them up? I thought we were staying for a few days." Nope. We're moving on. We are moving out tonight, everybody. And she will look back in the tent at you, Sandor, and say, "You owe me 2 days worth of shows now."
That is more than fair.
Let's do a quick like postscript scene if we can. If we can do a little epilogue bit. Since you were off stage for a bit there at the end, Myrtle, what do we see in the epilogue for you as they pack up and get ready to go, and they empty out a tank with a judge's body out into a field somewhere?
So I think they come to get, like, meaning, I don't know. I think by the time someone comes to look for me, I'm just gone. I'm in the wind. And I think that, like, maybe the shot is like as the judge's body is being disposed of, you see me with sort of like, what's this called? Like the old 30s, like, hobo's bindle or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Like, over my shoulder, like, wrapped with, like, whatever few meager possessions I have, and a cage with a few surviving animals in the other hand, like, sort of moving in the other direction, and they're like off in the side of the screen. I think that's
nice.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sandor, what's our epilogue bit from you?
Um,
What do we see of
I
Sandor?
think I'm digging a shallow grave. um, um, I think I think this is a thing that like it happened. I would rather like not acknowledge it if at all possible.
Maybe we see that spirit of justice at your elbow. It doesn't say anything, but it's just kind of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like like I said, I'm digging this shallow grave, and yeah, like the spirit of justice is there, and I'm kind of like, you
I
happy now?
imagine after a bit, Eduardo will come over to help.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna ask Eduardo if he wants to leave with us.
he
Could always
nods.
use a few extra hands around here. You may not actually be a freak, but we've got humans too.
He goes, we owe you. You saved us.
I'm glad we could. One of these days, I'd like to help somebody without killing someone else.
Nice end line on that. And Pearl, what's the postscript we see for you?
So I figured this whole experience has kind of shattered my worldview a little bit. I also think that maybe at that last time when I extended myself, maybe that didn't really ever go, like that didn't go back to normal. So like my eyes still kind of stay fishy, and I still like show my gills and whatever, and I'm still so now I'm kind of more of a typical freak, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I see myself kind of being a lot more quiet and reserved as we travel away with everyone. I was kind of abandoned by Myrtle, and so really the only person I think I would talk to anymore would be Sandor, because I think he basically he was there at this darkest point, so I could just see myself just relying on him and not being nearly as happy or as chatty anymore.
Nice. Well, thank you all very much for playing this with me, for trying this out. Do you have anything you want to say? Any impressions about the system, or anything you want to mention? Things that you dug, particular about the play, about other characters, about how it was, or about the mechanics, or anything you want to say? Jesse, you've played with me before. Anything you want to point at?
So I super dig this game. Like almost everything about it. Like I both the particular instance of this game, I thought everyone was fantastic, and like I really loved the characters and the interactions, and I think the system is built. Here's the thing I like about the system, right? So it's got that Monster Hearts thing. You pointed this out, Lowell, right? There's no helping moves, right? There's the darkness counter, right? There's like all sort of corruption, but also like from Urban Shadows, but like there's the sort of the monster within, right? There's all of that stuff where like on the one hand you're kind of alone, on the other hand like everything about the fiction that's built around it is unlike Monster Hearts. Like you're not warring with yourself to find out who you are, and who you are might be terrible, right? You're warring with yourself to like to do good, and like you're that's like a real push. I think that's super cool twist on Monster Hearts. And I think it works. I felt that like that push and pull very hard mechanically, and it was cool.
That's a really good point. You know, when I had said the thing about not helping at first, I thought that was a bug, but you make it seem to me that it's a deliberate feature there. That's interesting.
You're supposed to be working together to fight the darkness, but because of like the darkness within, you can't actually really work as a team, and you're kind of on your own. Like, I don't know. I wonder if there might be like a kind of way to, like, the ash can is clearly not made for super long-term play. Some like equivalent of an adult move or something, where like at a certain point, like you have built up enough goodwill amongst each other or whatever that you can do that. But I don't know.
Bethany, what'd you think?
So I really like it. I like the idea. I like it's not really a genre, but the setting a lot. And it was kind of like I read the description. I was like, oh, it's about time someone made a game about this. I thought the basic moves were a little confusing as to like which one I should use for because they overlap quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this would be a good thing or not, but it occurred to me that maybe one additional choice on offer comfort could be to reduce darkness. And that would maybe be one way, like the one helping move you could have is not the other person's darkness.
Right.
But then, then you don't have the fun of like your inner monster quite as quickly. So, I don't know if that'd be good or not.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, because I was wondering if there was a mechanic for that, and that does seem like the place where it would logically go. It's a tough call.
Right.
But I agree with you absolutely. I think you're absolutely right on that. A lot of the moves feel like they were open. Like when I was stopping there going, okay, I can see this going 3 or 4 different ways.
It's like, okay, let me read these and see which one applies the most. But so I think that the moves could be, it could be a little more distinct from each other. So you like know which one you're using.
Right. No, I think that's right. Marissa, thoughts?
Yeah, so I really overall I really like the game, and I in general really like the concept of a freak show or a carnival, because those are inherently complex characters, and that's as a personal preference. I really like playing. I mean, I know this is fairly typical. I mean, like as far as like masks or other like complexity is there, but this is even like you have a physical flaw or a physical abnormality or some kind of power that makes you different, makes you separate from regular people, and that's really fun to explore. So I really like that. I think and I think it does well. I do agree that I think the moves do overlap a lot, and I did notice that we didn't really use Endure the Darkness or Indulge Your Inner Monster very much, or at all. I don't know if
I did Endure the Darkness, because that's sort of the
okay,
the hard, the do something move.
Right.
But I didn't do the Indulge Your Inner Monster. You're right about that.
And I think it's I don't think it's necessarily I don't think it's a bad move, but I don't know if it was the particular game or if it's the structure of the game itself that kind of doesn't lend to doing that as much. I don't know. I'm trying to think of another rule that kind of mimics, where you kind of you hold one and then have to use it later, but it's kind of difficult to do that, I guess, in the way that the game went. But either way, I had a really good time, and I really liked my character a lot. I liked the different ways you could set up the characters and all the details that they gave for you, and all of the setup questions for the playbook. So, yeah, I would definitely play again.
Yeah, I will say this is really made me very excited for the final product. Like, this is a really good sort of like it's an appetizer for what's going to come, and I'm given what we see here, I'm very excited to see what the final bit would look like. Awesome. I loved everybody's characters. I really loved Sandor. I loved Pearl. I loved Myrtle, even when Myrtle was running away. So I had a very good time running for these characters. So I had a blast. Awesome. I'm going to stop the recording, and we will be all set.